my money to be used to go to the terrorists with their weapons, forces me to buy weapons to kill our soldiers in Iraq. And if that news commentator knows about it, the Pentagon, the CIA, the Congress or Senate, Condoleezza Rice, Bush, they all know about it. Are they the most stupid bunch of bums that has ever lived?
Or both.
And, you know, I watched Fox News on that day for 3 hours, and that flash never come back on. I watched CNN. They never even mentioned it. I'm of the opinion somebody in Washington threatened Fox News that they'd better not put that news flash back on the TV.
Well, listen, I
bet the average American, when they go buy their gas, they don't realize the money is going around the circle. And I can't help it, and Americans can't help it. They probably don't realize that money is going around the circle to buy weapons to kill our boys in Iraq.
Well, Mr. Anderson.
2 days after that, I saw that an American soldier had been killed by small arms fire.
Well, Mr. Anderson.
What I immediately thought of, my soul, did my gas purchase buy the bullets and the weapon that killed one of our American boys? Listen, we are ruled by the most stupid bunch of idiots in Washington that could ever be congregated.
Hey,
I don't know what the answer is.
Mr. Anderson, I appreciate your comments, and I agree with quite a few of them. And David Walker told us Wednesday of this week that, yeah, we were funding all three sides, and I don't find it that hard to believe that, yeah, our weapons is in their hands because, given the track record of the United States government. But I appreciate you calling in any time, and we've got another phone call.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, you with us today?
Yes, sir. I agree with that gentleman that just was on. And I'll tell you what, I have friends that are truckers. And they said, if all the truckers we get together, if all the public we get together for 3 to 5 days, and not my guess, it would be phenomenal. The change, the impact it would give, that nobody wants to stick together no more. Nobody's looking out for each other no more.
Oh, I agree.
And it's really a shame. Because people are like ostriches. Got their head in the sand. They don't listen. They don't look what's right in front of them.
I agree. What's your name?
Ronnie.
And you calling from Statesville?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate your call. Feel free to call in anytime. And we're going to go to our email because I want to make sure I get that in before the end of the program at our poll. And I might have to come back next week and tell you how much we're spending on a gallon of gas in Iraq. It will blow your mind. But we had several emails, and as long as I can, I want to comment on every one. And this was from Rebel Marine. He said, I would like for you to interview local government leaders and candidates for all offices from county commissioners to the governor. Thank you, Rebel Marine, and yes, that's something we plan to do, and we have an open invitation to anyone that's running for office want to contact us here. We will put you on. Lynn wrote, don't give Bush too much credit. Yes, he pushed for tax cuts, but a president is limited to what he can do. The real crooks are the representatives spending money like it's free. We need to clean them all out and start over across party lines. My solution, strike fear in the hearts of those that replace them. Yes, Lynn, I agree 100%. I appreciate you getting involved. Let's start making some real change right here on the Real News Radio. We had a email from Pamlico County. You said if there's any good news to write, the federal government just spent over $40 million to send us letters reminding us that we're getting back some tax checks starting in May. Does that count? Well, it shows the complete incompetence of our government. Bush had his staged photo op besides a huge pile of letters to be mailed. You had to be under a rock to not know about the refunds. The media via TV, radio, internet, and newspaper all reported it. But the deficit mad bumbling fools spent $40 million to mail us the letters. I suppose they borrowed the money from China. Darren wrote, it's about time a radio station put someone on the air who knows the problems with the county, state, and country. Thank you, Farron, for speaking to the callers like a gentleman, not like Bill O'Reilly. Would also like to thank WSIC for doing their homework and getting us a real news comment radio program. Thank you very much, Darren. I appreciate that. Feel free to call in any time and give us any advice on anything you think we can change to make it better. And I also would like to thank Billy Martin, WSIC, for giving us this forum. I think it's important to the people. If you do this long enough, you get a little negativity. I got some this week. I've done this before. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I got a real thick skin. But this comes from Doug, and it said, "Who are you to tell us of financial matters? You're not an economist and probably not an investor. You're just a hick with a big mouth." Well, Doug, this is about opinions and ideas, so you have the right to have yours, and I'll respect that. I won't call you names. I was raised better than that. But let's look at the facts of last week's show. I read verbatim from financial analysts, economists, and the media. Lou Dobbs, Bloomberg Report, Paul Craig Thomas, and Warren Buffett, just to mention a few, and Brian did also. So I may have gave you my opinion somewhat because I see what is happening, but I also gave you a lot of hard facts. I have to assume that the listeners are intelligent enough to understand plain English and what is being said here. But in light of that, I mentioned to Brian this email, and he got in contact with David Walker, the Comptroller General of the United States government. This is the head bean counter. It was appointed by Bill Clinton. And guess what? He's supposed to be our guest next week. Now, this is huge. This is as high up as you can get in financial matters for the United States government. He's going to be our guest here next week. So you don't have to take the word of a big mouth hick. We'll let him tell you next week. So tune in 11 o'clock next Saturday to The Real News, and we'll see what he has to say about it. Every week we have a poll, and we just put various ideas on there for Hypocrite of the Week, and we let the public vote, and whoever wins we put back, and then we change the lineup. This week, our list of guests was the Federal Reserve, the government's border policy, the people who are restricting our right to bear arms, those who believe in virtual fences, Oprah Winfrey, McCain, Hillary, and Obama, and the writers of the 9/11 Commission Report, and Alan Greenspan. I was amazed. We could have a drum roll. But I was amazed the writers of the 9/11 Commission Report won overwhelmingly. That is, the writers of the 9/11 Commission Report won overwhelmingly with 17 votes. So that well may speak volumes to what people consider the story that the 9/11 Commission Report wrote on the actual facts of 9/11. We may address that later in the program or a different show to let you know what we think about that and put some facts on the website. And again, the website's a work in progress. We're going to be making a lot of changes on it, get videos on there. We want your email at onair@realradionews.com. Next week we will have David Walker. I think that is just huge, and we do invite any other guests that would like to be on the program. And I didn't get to some of the news that I wanted to do this week, but we will cover probably firstly next week on what we're paying for a gallon of gas in Iraq, which, to just give you an idea, we are importing 3 million gallons of gas a day into Iraq. And I want to let you know what that is costing us. One thing I'll try to hit real quick before we go off the air, 1 in 4 teenage girls has a sexually transmitted disease. This was reported this week. 1 in 4 girls in the United States has been infected with at least one sexually transmitted disease, according to a study released Tuesday by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. This study, to examine the combined national prevalence of common STDs among adolescent women in the United States, estimates that at least 3.2 million teens aged 14 to 19 are currently infected. I just found that to be astounding. It's just proof that our society is in decline, and it's the result of a morally bankrupt population and the breakdown of the family. And if you got any teenagers, you might want to send that around, because I certainly think everyone would like to be well aware of that. And